It's a beautiful day out there. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all, and in particular to welcome our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Thandwa Mthembu, to welcome our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Dr. Mthethwa, to welcome our Registrar, Dr. Nkwanani, and I just want to welcome all the members of the academic procession and thank them for taking time. It's a special week. This is the Student Orientation Week. We will be having a number of activities unfolding as we welcome students. I would like to welcome the parents, the guests, and all that made it to this event today. Student, we are here for you. You are our special guests. Also like to acknowledge and thank the SRC for being here. They are one of our speakers. We've got the president who will be sharing with you and introducing to you the rest of the SRC. So this morning's event will unfold in two parts. The first part, we're going to have the message of welcome from our executive management. And then the second session will be where members of staff will come and give you different information that will be helpful to you during your stay here at DUT. Before I welcome the Vice Chancellor, I want to thank you all for being here, but in particular, to congratulate and celebrate those who made it to be DUT students. Please give yourselves a big round of applause. I know it was stressful. I know you were worried, not knowing where you're going to go, where you're going to attend. I also know that you experienced a lot of inconveniences during the application process. Some of you may not be happy. So this is also the opportunity for us to apologize for any inconveniences you might have experienced. Some of those things happen, so we are sorry. But now students that you are part of DUT, you are one of us. No more complaining from you. Whatever challenge you experience during your stay here, we ask you that you tackle it head on. When you see a problem, you see papers on the streets, don't complain. It's, hi, DUT Ngoli. We are talking about you. So take ownership to address whatever challenge you face so that the next cohort of students that are coming don't experience the same problems that you've experienced. So I want to thank you as you journey with us for the next 3 or 4 years. I hope you'll have a fruitful stay at DUT. Many legends came through DUT, they graduated, they are contributing to the economy out there. And I'm hoping in the next 3 or 4 years, we'll be welcoming you on the stage as you graduate. But during your stay at DUT, you're going to hear lovely words like Envision 2030, living values, innovation, entrepreneurship. All those words have meaning, and you're going to learn about what they mean during your journey. Embrace them, be part of the movement, and help us create the university that we desire to see in 2030 as part of Envision 2030. We have big plans for the university. You will see buildings are coming up. We are renovating certain things. There's a whole lot of activities that we've planned that we want to welcome the student as they join us. So parents, guests, you can be rest assured that you have got qualified, dedicated staff members, some sitting on stage to take care of your children. And any problems that you probably encounter, reach out to us. Let's see how we can tackle it head on and solve it, because problems are part of life, and we hope to work jointly with you. Ladies and gentlemen, those are a few words I wanted to share. Let me take this opportunity to welcome on stage our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Mthembu. Please give a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Dr. Joe Mliti, Campus Director, or actually Center Director, because there are 2 campuses here in the Midlands, here in Pietermaritzburg. We have a bigger center in Durban, that has 5 campuses. In fact, just yesterday, we had a similar event as this one in Durban. When I say a bigger center of academic activity in Durban, I mean those 5 campuses that cater for roughly, I would say, 25,000 students, with this one catering for, I guess, between 6 and 7 million. So, Dr. Mlidi, Program Director, thank you very much for your kind introductory words. I should also welcome members of the executive team, the Dean of Students, and staff in the student services sector who would have worked tirelessly since last year preparing for what is happening today. Our members of staff, lecturers, professors, managers, administrative staff, the SRC with us here on stage, under the leadership of Mr. Sanele Khumalo, and members of other substructures in the management of student affairs. Our first-year students who are with us, parents, guardians, sponsors. It's exciting to see all of you bringing your children to us to take care of them going forward over the next 3, 4, some, as you know, maybe 5, maybe 6. We don't wish for that, though. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm excited to see these young people before me here. I'm excited because what I'm seeing before me are young people who have one purpose in mind. And I see that unity of purpose, even in the manner you have these t-shirts you have. In the past, right here at DUT, we would have red t-shirts, would have yellow or orange t-shirts, all sorts of colors. Almost as if our students would already be looking forward to some conflict amongst groups that wear red t-shirts, groups that wear orange or yellow t-shirts. So this already signals the unity of purpose that you are all here for. I should also appreciate that this year I do see our SRC moving away from the factionalism or the disunity that many other exogenous external factors bring into our university and divides it into little pieces that do not help us to achieve our ultimate goals as a university. That does not help them as the SRC to achieve the goal of leading the student body not into wanton disturbances that only drive you to focus less on your ultimate goal that you have come for here. So I felt I should just take note of the excitement I have, or share with you the excitement I have about the unity of purpose I see, whether it's with the SRC, moving away from all different colors that we could wear to demonstrate our disunity, but seeing all of us here, seeing most of you here, having ditched whatever colors you wish for, but being in the color you are in, demonstrating that going forward, you'll do everything in unison. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all to the Durban University of Technology, the Midlands Center, with its two campuses, Riverside and Indomiso. As our orientation week, we call O Week, starts. I extend a special welcome to the parents, guardians, and sponsors who are with us today, who have forgone a number of very important things they would have been doing today, but felt it's important to come here, accompany you here. I thank you very much for that. You have brought us the greatest gift, which is a gift of life that these young people are. This is a gift that portends a great future for your families, the communities you come from, and our country. So I take particular honor in welcoming these excellent young people who irradiate not just enthusiasm and hope, but latent innovations for a different and a prosperous South Africa, which we all know is in the doldrums of inefficiency, of misgovernance, and so much else, corruption. You raise them through thick and thin. You raise them through sweat and blood. You raise them through trials and tribulations. But you also raise them through the joys and the thrills that you experienced as families as they grew up. You imbued them, we hope, with good values and principles that will enhance, that will generate, but hopefully not degenerate, DUT, that will not degenerate our country. So on behalf of DUT, I thank you very much for your willingness as parents, guardians, sponsors, your willingness to share these gifts of life with us. We are about to take them through a long journey of intellectual growth, the long journey of holistic growth and development, a journey to distinctiveness and greatness in society, a journey that almost always leads to leadership by them of society because of the knowledge, the high-level skills that they will earn here. If ever we had been complaining as a country about the doldrums we are in as a country, these are the people who will extricate all of us from all this misery we see around us. But I'll tell them what not to do to avoid sustaining the misery we are in a bit later. You do not pivot things in society, change them around completely by doing one and the same thing that has been done before my time, during my time, and you think things will change. It's high time young people in a troubled country like ours think about a different purpose. Think about different strategies to relieve all of us from the misery, from the poverty, from the unemployment, you can mention them all, that we are beset with. as a country. But if you think you are going to go back to 1652 when Jan van Riebeeck came to this country and his team, if you think you are going to go back to 1948 when apartheid was introduced, you will spend most of your life, because 1652 is too far back, 1948 is too far back, to think that you can ever change what happened in 1652 in 1948. You will never change it. But what you can change, taking lessons from then, what you can change, what you can carve, is a great future for yourselves, for your families, for your communities, and for this country. Ayenzeki ke leyo nto uma uqiqa ndawonye. Uyahamba. Awuqiqa ubuyele emuva. Uyahamba uye phambili. The biggest challenge we have in this country is that when other races, when other countries, or young people in other countries are carving their niches into the future, our young people, or our people in general, because there are parents we see on TV doing all sorts of crazy things in front of yourselves as young people that you then copy. So whenever other races in this country and elsewhere, young people in this country and elsewhere are building their futures, sadly, we find our black young people destroying the little that we have, burning libraries which are centers of knowledge and skills that they need to acquire, burning buildings that they need to use, lecture halls that they need to use to amass all of that knowledge and skills. It's really sad. It's really an embarrassment to be a black South African in this day and age. Because we, as your parents, as your guardians, as older people, we have messed up this country. We must admit. Kuningi ngabe sakwenza into nje. Ithina esihlale sihamba siyovota. Sivotela ukuhlupheka lokhu okuphilwayo. Angithi kunjalo. Now, why would young people follow us? Why do young people want to follow us? I remember the days something called a toi was done when I was also young. Then you want to toi. I remember the days, but those were the days during the apartheid period when everybody had to try and fight against an evil system. Yes, things may not be perfect in this country. There may still be a need to fight for so much. But how do we fight? Do we fight, as I said earlier, by burning libraries? Do we fight by looting? And I'm looking at the parents now, because I did see on TV in July 2021. Do we do that by looting? When I go to a mall, Gateway Mall in Durban, and I look at the queues at ATM of our black people, who would have traveled by taxi, paid, 20 rand from wherever, perhaps 100 rand, to draw maybe from their social grant, those who get social grants. And how much is that to have to travel and pay a lot of money in order to withdraw far away at Gateway Mall? Well, because the malls, Wamashu, kuphi kuphi, Mbali, kuphi kuphi, ashiswa. Kusebenza bani kulawa mamall? Ngoba ke noma ngabe lezo zitolo ezashiswa ezabelungu nobani kusebenza thina nje. Angithi sondla abantwana bethu ngakho khona lokho okuncane noma ke kungenele. Manje mase sikushisa ke sekulahleka yona lemsebenzi emincane ekhona sisho ukuthini? Ngithi ke bantu abami ningasilaleli, ningabalaleli abazali benu uma indlela abanifaka kuyona ile ndlela ebhedayo esisifake kulolu ubisho esikulo njengezo. I'd like you to carve your own niche into the future. Whilst dealing with apartheid may have been our mission as your parents, it's no longer your mission. Your mission is about building this country. Your mission is about ensuring that you generate new ideas, you generate innovations, rather than destroying everything and the little that we have. You are very special, young people. If you think about 2010, round about 12 years ago or more, when you started school, if you think about some of the people you were with in grade 1 and all along, you might find that from your school, you are the only one here. That makes you special. When you look back at the village, the township you come from, you might also find out that you are the only one here from that village. That's what makes you special. When you look at your family, you look at how many would have had an opportunity like this, how many of them have qualifications from a tertiary institution, you might find that you are the first one. You are special. And you've come to a special place. Durban University of Technology has been working hard to make itself distinctive, to make itself special. We've been recognized not only nationally, but internationally. And we come from afar. We come from being a technikon, which is or was a tertiary institution that was never expected to compete with many other traditional universities in South Africa and beyond. But in this day and age, we are able to compete very successfully to a point where we have been identified as one of the top 5 universities in this country by some of the ranking agencies, which are international. So we are not just saying this because We think we are special as DUT, but other people around the world are seeing us that way. Other people around the country are seeing us that way. But it doesn't happen on its own. It happens because we have people. People are the source of everything that happens in life. They are the source of progress. They are also the source of degeneration, stagnation, and all the bad things that are happening in our lives. When you join DUT, I hope you will choose to be the source of progress and not degeneration, because you are the source of everything that could possibly happen. So, when we have dedicated young people like you, special young people like you, joining a special university like DUT is now, we cannot but together achieve greatness. Greatness that you will look back after 4 or 5 years, after 10 years, after 15 years, and say, if I had not had this opportunity, I would not be where I am. You are talking to, you are listening to, actually, somebody who spent all his life at a university. When I joined at around your age, that was 1982, when I went to the University of Fort Hare in the Eastern Cape. I was at Fort Hare for 4 to 5 years. I came out with an honors degree by the end of 1985. I went on immediately to the United States of America to do a master's degree I'm leaving out a little detail. I did register for a master's degree at Fort Hare, beginning of 86. But then I got a scholarship to go to the United States of America in the middle of 1986. I came back, I finished a master's degree there. I came back to Wits University, beginning of 1988. To do a PhD. I finished it practically at the end of 1990. I was 27 years of age. Became a professor soon thereafter, a few years thereafter. So I'm just saying, all my life, I studied like you started. I never left university until today. I'm 60 years old, as of the 12th of January. And it's possible if you make the right decisions at the right time. Ukunichathazela nje, okuncane engakwenza. I knew that at university, in fact, I had an elder brother who had registered a few years before I started university, who had registered at the University of Zululand. It's a brother that is the most intelligent in our family. He is today a PhD in mechanical engineering. But he went to the University of Zululand, and within 6 months he came back home because he had failed. I don't know what the reasons are for his failure up to today. But that devastated me. It couldn't be my elder brother I looked up to who would get distinctions. I never got any distinction in matric, okay? But my brother did. At high school, he did English first language, something I couldn't do. He failed. Ongoye. Especially if you were interested in doing a BSc, which is what I wanted to do. So when I went in 1982 to the University of Fort Hare, even though I didn't know what had made my brother fail, I started thinking about things I shouldn't do. Of course, fortunately at that time, well, up to now, I don't smoke. I do drink now. I didn't drink then. I only started drinking. I only started drinking liquor at the age of 37. Vele utshwala kwakudala kwakuyinto yabantu abadala. Uyabona uma usiyoguga. Uyabona nezalukazi nazo kwakuphuzwa nje bonke abantu kodwa uma sebekhulile. So I had no problems with smoking anything. And of course, Nina, you now have many more things you can smoke and sniff. So I didn't have that challenge. I didn't have challenge of liquor, as I say. I only started drinking at 37. But there was also another thing that I avoided. I didn't have a girlfriend at Fort Hare. Okay? Because I knew that then there is Valentine's Day. And I really didn't have money when I started. And there would be all sorts of expectations that I couldn't meet. I'm lying when I say I never had a girlfriend at Fort Hare. When I was doing honors, I then started. All right? That was well planned. Ngangiyisishimane ngakithi nganginazi intombi ekhaya. Okay, those days you would have a few, but these days be careful. Okay? I'm saying nganginazi intombi because that's how we lived those days. So you could also decide whether it's about smoking and sniffing, whether it's about alcohol, whether it's about getting yourself or your life complicated because of the relationships you start here. It's your choice. What I'm hoping you will be is that you'll make all the good choices. That nobody, it's no longer your mom, your dad, it's no longer anyone else that will be pushing you to do things. Neither are you here in order to please your parents. This is your journey. Your parents might not be there, depending on their age, might not be there in 30 years' time, when, actually even earlier than that, when you have to begin to live your life independently. DUT comes with a lot of freedom, or university life. But I hope you will ensure that you take responsibility and accountability not only to yourself, but to your parents, to your guardians, to your sponsors, to your community, to our broader society. Unlike at home, where whenever you make a big mistake about your life, your mom, your dad might always choose to ignore that. Unlike at school, where your teachers may have spoon-fed you, may have coached you to write exams and get distinctions, you won't be coached here. Lapha inyosi idla uju lwayo. Niyasizwa leso Zulu? Inyosi idla uju lwayo. Akho uju ozohamba uyolucoshela eyimbalini abanye abantu ukuze kudle wena. Inyosi idla uju lwayo. Nobody will be waking you up in the morning. No one will help you to think or analyze things. No one will ask you if you have submitted your assignments. No one will remind you to attend lectures. No one will remind you that you have begun to spend a lot of time with your girlfriend or boyfriend, and you are not spending enough time in your studies. Now we have a country where politics seems to overwhelm all aspects of our lives. And I'm not saying it shouldn't. But we must understand that beyond politics that you can get engaged in, we all have to. There are many other important aspects of life that have different ways of running their own systems. I told you earlier that all my life, I never left the university. I may have been at different universities, but always at a university, either studying or working. So I hope what I'm going to tell you now about what a university is and is not, you are going to take it seriously, because I know what I'm talking about. I've been here almost forever. A university is a place where facts and evidence, reason and rationality, deliberation and debate reign supreme. Misunderstandings, disputes, conflicts at a university are settled intellectually, not by brute force, not by fire and brimstone. Uma ngabe ubuyingqwele ngakini, awuseyiyo ingqwele la. Ingqwele la iqhamuke engqondweni, iqhamuke ezifundweni kuphela nje. Sadly, we have young people and university students in this country, as I'm saying, because of these overwhelming political influences that we have, who think protest, and actually violent protest, are what makes them successful. Indlakadla nje yodwa nobuxhwanguxhwangu ababuzelela. I would hope you have not come to learn more about how to be violent, but more about how to contribute to peace, harmony, progress, excellence, and prosperity at this university, in your communities, and everywhere. Universities are centers of intellectual immersion and excellence. They earn their reputation by the quality of the education that they provide, the outputs, the outcomes, and the impact in the broader society. They do not earn their reputation through the strength and fitness of their students' legs, or through the strength and fitness of their students' arms, as sometimes they pelt stones and rocks at fellow students and staff. They burn buildings, cars, laboratories, libraries. On the 26th of January, we had a visit from the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Higher Education, Training, Science and Innovation. When the members, we took them through DUT facilities, residencies and so on, when they realized how good, serious and progressive DUT is, they told us that all they had known about DUT had been that it is perpetually on strike and no education takes place. Now think about people in industry, in business, that one day, after 3 years, 4 years, you will apply for a job from. If there is this perception that you are not here to learn and grow holistically as human beings of the 21st century, why would you think employers would want to employ you when they don't think there's anything you've done at DUT? Like many organizations, universities are very hierarchical in structure. But as I said earlier, they are not like political organizations where the person at the top of the structure is the one who dictates what happens down the line. Here, it's academic achievement, academic outputs, levels of experience that make people who they are, that make them occupy the positions they occupy. I never became Vice-Chancellor because I was deployed. Actually, when I was still in the Free State, I was once stopped by a young person. I was at Pick and Pay. And this young person said, "Oh, I'm so glad to meet you here, Prof. I have just joined SASCO, and I hope one day I will be in the position you are in." What does this mean? That young person thought that through being a member of SASCO, you get into the networks, the political networks, that might end up giving you deployment to become Vice-Chancellor. That's not how it works. In fact, that's why people in the political sphere are killing one another this way. Of course, now they have come to kill us too. They kill one another because they have nothing else. In fact, a number of them, you know them. You know those who are councillors. Abehlulwa isikole khona lapha phambi kwenu. Kodwa sebeyinto enkulu, sekuyimeya, sekuyini. They have nothing else, a number of them, to show. They have never worked anywhere. The only work they all know is about being deployed. So this is not a place of deployment. I've told you how many years I've been at university. I've been in university senior and executive management positions for 30 years. Okay? That's how have risen up the ladder. Njengoba ngishilo ke la inyosi idla ujulwayo. So brace yourself for hard work and sweat. There are many resources at DUT at your disposal that you could use. And I would urge you to really use all of those resources. Please allow me to end off with a caution. I've already given you many cautions, actually. Remember when I told you about my own experience of not being a smoker or a sniffer or an alcohol drinker or at Fort Hare being all over the place? Ngizenza isoka. No, I didn't do that. But I've seen a number of people who get excited about being at university and do all sorts of things. And a number of them would be looking as innocent as you do. Kodwa ngaphakathi abanye abantu sike sibaboneke thina uma kunalento okuthiwa itoyitoyi. Abanye bangabi namahloni sibadala singaka, singangoyise nonina, singangomkhulu babo, basichaphe ngeinhlambi ezizigaxa ingaka engaze ngizizwe ngisho enkandla la engiphuma khona. Ingane zenuke bo mama nobaba esingazi ukuthi isuke ikhuliswe kanjani. So kunalabo who start their career looking as innocent as you do. We are starting our academic program next week, Monday, the 20th of February. I bet you, but I hope not. Kukhona phakathi kwenu lapha abazoqala ukuba ama-criminals and thugs. On Monday. On Monday. Kukhona on Monday abazozama ukudiliza isidleke somnyovu. Niyazwa ngithini? Yabona uma udiliza isidleke somnyovu, umnyovu uyantinyela. Uzontinyela kumnyovu uma ndiliza isidleke sawo. Ngisho ke amaphoyisa, ngisho imithetho yala e-university izokutinyela. As I said earlier, a university is about facts and evidence, reason and debate. It's not about cult leaders or dictators that are telling you to do this or that. We often hear about something that is called the silent majority. Most of you seated here might not like to see looting, burning of this and that and that. If you think that way, you are probably part of the silent majority. But what happens in this country? It's the violent minority that rules with disrespect, with criminality, with everything you can think about. So be careful that you are not made to participate in acts of stupidity, violence, criminality, thuggery that you really don't know much about. Ngomsombuluko okanye this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, there will be posters in the social media. Sizofunda ngenkani. Actually, kucatshanga ukuthi siziwula. Because actually, that campaign is simply a campaign about refusing to learn, because it's about shutting down the university under the pretext that there are some students who also need to learn. Remember, whether it's a school, whether it's a hospital or anything, it has a set number of people that it can accommodate. Okay? Now, when others are there and they are willing to study, but there are no more places, senze njani thina uma indawo engasekho? Kodwa kuzoba nalaba bathi sizofunda ngenkani, bathi akungafundwa noma ngabe we already have the numbers that we need to have to get started. As I said earlier, when other races make progress, it's the black, it's the African child or student that is held back by themselves, actually. Ngithi ngeke ngiyibuzeke njengabantu ke iningi lethu la ngiyabona mhlamba bayasazi isiZulu bayasazi isiXhosa isiSwazi so bazongizwa. Yabona ke ingane uma izalwa ishunqithela inyamazana lento okuthiwa inyamazana. Kuya ukuthi uma ingane ke isikhula kube sengathi khona okungasathathi kahle enganeni. Bese sithi ke ngesiZulu hayi engathi khona inyamazana mayeshunqiselwa lo mntwana. Ungathi khona inyamazana eyasala la. Mhlambe kwasala impisi, kwasala uchakide, kwasala unogwajo. Nishunqiselwe nani shunqiselwa khona. Ngiyethemba ukuthi ke anizonina lezo ingane okwasala kuzo kulokho enanishunqiselwa khona inyamazana kwasala uchakide nonogwaja noma nempisi. So aniziwula nje. Khona enye into ke ngapha ngasemakhaya esiyayisebenzise uma umuntu eyuvuma zonke nje. Angithani uyovuma zonke nje. Anifani nina nezimfene kwakuthakathwa ke ngasemakhaya. Kodwa ke ngeke ngibone la ku social media kukhona ezinye izimfene la emalokishini. Imfene ke noma impaka into elandela nje umnini wayo. Uma umnini wayo ethi hamba uyothakatha lapha kwaMthembu eyakhona. Ningabi ke nani ke lezo mpaka. Nitshelwa abantu enibafica la eDUT. Bethi akuyiwe kuyoshiswa lapha kuyowenziwana nawe usuyathuthuzela uyalandela. Awuyona impaka. Ngaphandle ke njoba bengishilo uma zingaphelelanga kwasala unogwaja kwasala uchakide kwasala impisi singavuma ke kodwa ngikholwa ukuthi kunjani. You have been sent here to come back home with something. Uthunyiwe abazali, uthunyiwe umphakathi. Ungabuyi kulambatha. Noma uthi uthunywe ugwayi ubuye neboza. Uthi uthunywe i-degree ubuye nomntwana. NgesiZulu isilima phela leso. Esithunywa ugwayi sibuye neboza. Buya nalokho ukuthunyiwe. Ungabuyi ulambatha, ungabuyi uphethe okunye. So, as I close, I wish to ask you to always seek to be relevant in this ever-changing world. Challenge yourself The only thing you'll find from us, you will earn from us, you'll learn from us, is knowledge, increasing your knowledge capacity, your innovations, your creativity, honing it up through lots of engagements that take place at the university. So take responsibility for your own studies and for your life. Life is not easy. Life is actually very difficult. Life will always be difficult. You don't solve things today, difficult things today. In fact, even if you were to solve difficult things today, there are more difficult things along the way. So ngalawo mazwi ke ngithi siyanemukela eDUT sinifisela ukuhle kodwa inkosi benani siyabonga.
Thanks, VC, for those wise words, words of wisdom. Were you listening, guys? You look scared, though. Are you happy to be here? Can you shout, please, to show that you're happy? Clap hands, clap hands. There's still a long line of people who want to be accepted. We'll kick you out and bring those that are excited. Guys, we are here to celebrate. I forgot it is Valentine today. Happy Valentine to everybody in the house. Let love reign. Let's be happy. Music interlude, be ready. You're coming next. But guys, what I took from this speech is you are here to carve your own niche. Those are powerful words. And I want you to carry these words with you every day. And the question you need to ask is, which niche are you carving? There are people who are 3 times your age. They are still asking that question. Some have been carved by niches themselves while they are trying to carve their own niche. So you are here to carve your own niche. And that niche that you are carving has nothing to do with what you are studying. You may be in education, hoping that you're going to be a teacher, but your heart might be telling you something else. Your heart might be telling you that maybe you need to be DJ Black Coffee, who is our graduate, by the way. Zakes, Pantwini, walk the same path that you are traveling. So there are legends that were accepted at DUT. They managed to carve their own niche. If I'm to be prophetic like VC, when I look, I see 2 billionaires on this aisle, 2 traditional healers there. They are gonna heal us. Music interlude, are you ready? What niche are you carving? Every day ask that question. For the Black Book tells us that, for I have plans for you, plans to prosper you, plans to give you hope and a future. And I'm glad that you guys are becoming something. I'm more excited than you are because I know how difficult it is to be accepted, number 1. Number 2, I know how exciting it is to be in an environment where you've got skilled people that will make you what you want to become. Few have been expelled from the university for being stupid, like VC said. So it's all your choice. Parents, you've got no more role to play. I think you've raised the young ones. All you can do is just to pray for them and hope the best. And I'm sure you can trust that you left them in good hands, people who are going to share with them knowledge. But at the end of the day, they have to decide what they want to become. Is my choir ready for the next item? Over to you.
Sanborn. Ngicela ningivumele. Uzovuma uthi wena. Kodwa ngihlukumezile uthi uyisa uthando lwami besuya. Injalo nje. Ngixolele inkinga ngebhesi. Yebo ngiyavuma ngiyakuthanda. Kodwa ungihlukumezile kwanele manje. Yebo ngiyavuma ngiyakuthanda. Kodwa ungihlukumezile kwanele manje. Gibele pase. Gibele pase. Noma ngashada ngiyobe ngekejele. Noma ngashada ngiyobe ngekejele. Ngiyabonga. Ngicela niphume kanjena ke manje. Hayi lale. Hayi vuke. Thina siyayifuna. Hayi lale. Hayi vuke. Thina siyayifuna. Ngoba imoto yemali. Hayi lale. Hayi vuke. Thina siyayifuna. Ngoba imoto yemali. Hayi lale. Hayi vuke. 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 Ngoba imoto yemali. Hayi lale. Ngiphi ihlombe. Hayi vuke. Ngoba imoto yemali. Hayi lale. Hayi vuke. Ngoba imoto yemali. Hayi lale. Hayi vuke. Wemntanami kusekhaya la. Kusekhaya la. Noma wena wema. Wemntanami kusekhaya la. Kusekhaya la. Noma ngabe wema. Wemntanami kusekhaya la. Kusekhaya la. Noma ngabe wema. Wemfana noma ngabe izindle zodaka. Awu noma ngabe izindle zodaka. Wemntanami kusekhaya la. Kusekhaya la. Noma ngabe wema. Ngicela ningivumela kanjena ke manje uthi sibaqedela abantu uwembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu uwembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu uwembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu uwembe yamatekisi. Imbi yamatekisi we, imbi yamatekisi. Oh, imbi yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbi yamatekisi we, imbi yamatekisi. Oh, imbi yamatekisi. Uma sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, imbe yamatekisi we, imbe yamatekisi. Oh, imbe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, hembe yamatekisi we, hembe yamatekisi. Oh, hembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, hembe yamatekisi we, hembe yamatekisi. Oh, hembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, hembe yamatekisi we, hembe yamatekisi. Oh, hembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, hembe yamatekisi we, hembe yamatekisi. Oh, hembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, hembe yamatekisi we, hembe yamatekisi. Oh, hembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu. Oh, hembe yamatekisi we, hembe yamatekisi. Oh, hembe yamatekisi. Sibaqedela abantu ngesibhamu.
Two more minutes.
Abantu, abantu benze njani? Abantu, abantu benze njani? Abaningi abantu, abaningi abantu wenze njani? Abaningi abantu, abaningi abantu wenze njani? Abaningi abantu, abaningi abantu. Abaningi abantu, abaningi abantu wenze njani? Abaningi abantu, abaningi abantu wenze njani?
That's DUT talent. Another big round of applause, please. Very soon you'll see some of them acting up on TV. Maybe Gumuvango, I don't know what you watch on TV. Whatever you watch, it starts right here, and we groom them, and they go to SABC. Next on the program, I would like to welcome on stage Ms. Tandolwetu April to introduce SRC members. Over to you.
Gratification to His Highness, the Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Thandwa Mthembu, the Registrar, Utata wethu, Dr. Nkonyana, the Student Representative Council, all stakeholders of the institution, departments and units collectively, parents, and last but not least, the students who are the first-time entrants in our institution, which is Durban University of Technology. Our journey is different, but our destination is the same. Trials, tribulations, struggles, and also triumph has brought us together here, which marks the beginning of a chapter that can be prosperous to the beholders or maybe not, depending on the choices one takes. The main mission of the university, as per our Inversion 2030, is to produce people who are creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, and adaptive to the changes in the world. This is a university of many opportunities. Ukuthi-ke sekusele kunina ukuthi niyawasebenzisa lawo mathuba noma cha. The medium we are penetrating now no longer has the common factor of teachers who will push you, parents who will monitor you, and also guardians who will constantly remind you of how important education is. This journey requires discipline and self-management, as we are coming of age and responsibility is a daily bread. Ours as the SRC is simple. We remain by the statute and by the DHET, the highest governance body that serves as the union of students and which is the collective mouthpiece. We are the voice of the students and we represent student views on academic and experience-related issues within the institution. We are basically your first friends on campus. As the SRC, we promote equality and democracy that does not favor discrimination. Our offices are based both at Indumiso and Riverside campus collectively in Pietermaritzburg. We are based at Gate 7 Maintenance Building at Steve Biko campus in Durban. Now, do allow me to introduce our Student Representative Council. We are led by President Sanele Kumalu. Secretary General Ntokozo Joyful Gabashe. Deputy Secretary General Ali Ndlovu. Our Treasurer Asanda Mgomezulu. Education and Transformation Officer of Midlands, Gideon Mthembu. Education and Transformation Officer of Durban, Londega Kuboni. Projects Officer of Midlands, Zwagele Mkhize. Projects Officer of Durban, Nontle Dlamini. Organization and Accommodation Officer of Midlands, Njabulo Nkomonde. Organization and Accommodation Officer of Durban, Sbusiso Mpele. Sports and Recreation Officer of Midlands, Sabatha Zungu. Sports and Recreation Officer of Durban, Tembinkosi Maisa. Social and Welfare Officer of Midlands, Mcebisi Ngobo. Social and Welfare Officer of Durban, Maneli Sibutelezi. Now, DUT students, these are your fellow representatives. I thank you.
Thank you very much, leaders, for assuming this difficult responsibility of leading your fellow students. So students, we are here to introduce to you the SRC. Should you have any issue, query, these are your first point of call. If you come running to our offices, we will send you back to SRC and they will make sure they address your concern as they always do. So thank you, comrades. Let me get it. Comrades, thank you. I would like now to call on stage the one and only registrar that we have, Dr. Nkwanani, and we have already welcomed him with his song, Sekayala, as you have seen him dancing. So you are welcome on stage to address us. A big round of applause, please.
Dumelang, Sanbonani, Molweni, Moromba Khaitsu, Apsheni, Namachironi, Kuyamore. Good morning. Thank you, Program Director. Mine is a very easy job, no speech to deliver, but to say the most important words. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank all of you just for being here. You've made our day. Thank you very much. But there are people that I would like to thank specially. Allow me to thank our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Thandwa Mthembu, for sharing with us pearls of wisdom. Not only for our first year students, but for us all, in terms of how we conduct ourselves and how we aspire every day to be greater than we are. He told us he studied at a number of universities. He studied at Forte, at Vanderbilt in the US, and lastly at Wits. Now, Wits promises its graduates that Wits gives you an edge. And kuyabonakala. Wits gives you an edge. And the cardinal question is, what is the DUT promise? We promise to ensure that you grow up to become creative, distinctive, and impactful in our shared quest towards achieving greatness together. Thank you very much for choosing this great university. This is one choice you will never regret. Ingani lento this week. Bazali, we thank you very much for trusting this great university, not only with the lives of your children, but with the hopes and dreams of your children. And even with your own hopes and dreams, because it is through initiatives such as sending your child to school that you can live your dreams through your child. Siyanibonga ukuthi nisithembe ngamaphupho enu kuzofezeka. May I also take this opportunity to thank my fellow senior and executive management for gracing this auspicious occasion with their presence. We know how busy you are, but you made time to come to our Midlands campuses. And just by coming here, we are dispelling perceptions that Midlands is just an orphan child of DUT. Midlands campuses in Dumiso and Riverside are just 2 of the 7 campuses of this great university. So they are too very much DUT. May I also commend our student leadership, the SRC, for conducting themselves in the way they have and setting themselves apart from their predecessors. Siyabulela Thando lwethu with a very inspiring message, not only to your peers, but to us all. May I also thank our Choral Music Society, DUT Chorale, for the melodious rendition of a very, very challenging composition by Pelelani Mnomia from Chesterfield. Sorry, not from Chesterfield, but from, where do you come from, Dr. Mtetwa? From Claremont, yes. Ihele was composed, one of the most difficult compositions of Upelelani Mnomia. But our own DUT choir navigated the difficult quarter notes and chromatics in that song. Siyanibonga, sibonga amazwi enu, nangikhumbuza ichoir yalapha ekhaya eMgungundlovu under the late Dr. Shabalala, PMB Adult Choir, Choral Society. Keep it up. And last but not least, awuthingibonga inkabi zami for usikhumbuza ukuthi kusekhaya la makube njalo. Ngiyabonga.
Thank you, Registrar, for those kind words. In his closing remarks, the Registrar has thanked everyone who participated here this morning. Also to add, we're thanking all our AV guys, we thank the security guys, we thank all the organizers who made this event possible. I also like to thank those that are outside. They are grumpy students, I know them. They always like to cause trouble. But I like to thank them for behaving, my comrades out there. Thank you very much for not causing chaos. We love you too. It's Valentine's Day. We can't afford to be at each other's throat. Parents, as said, your children are in good hands. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of the orientation. The classes will start next week. We're going to continue engaging with your students and molding and building them to become whoever they are. For parents, we also have a platform that we regularly meet with community members called Imbali Education and Innovation Precinct, which is a project that we do to mobilize the community to engage with us in building a world-class academic institution. So some of you, under the leadership of Dr. or Mr. Shozi, you'll be invited to that forum where we meet with all the members of the community to engage you with on what short courses are available for community members, how we assist you on your enterprising journey so that you can build your own businesses. So there are many initiatives to engage everyone. And I would like you to remain engaged and committed so that we can get your ideas on how to build a better society. We know, as the VC said, the world is rough out there, economy is tough, people are doing the best that they can, but let me assure you, you cannot win alone. You need to belong somewhere. Hence, I'm saying the Imbali Education and Innovation Precinct is a project where we mobilize everybody to work together. So you'll hear more about that and you'll get all the invites. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the end of the first session. As I said, there's the morning session and there's a second session that will start after this one, after the procession has left the stage. I would like to invite the Durban University of Technology Choral to come and sing for us. We will stand up when I ask you to sing the national anthem. And when we finish, members of the academic procession will leave the stage and I'll ask you to remain standing while they proceed. Is the choir ready? Okay, there's a song coming from somewhere. I guess it's electronic. May we have the, oh, here they are. Just to make sure you're going to be singing the national anthem, right? All right. Just to check, make sure I'm correct. And I'm going to ask the members to all rise as we all sing our national anthem. And thereafter, the academic procession will leave the stage. Please remain standing.
Insalim